Welcome to Sunday, the 25th of July, 2026. We're going to get into what's going on here in the Santa Clarita Valley as far as real estate goes. So let's begin and get started. So in the Santa Clarita Valley right now, 32% of every Santa Clarita home for sale right now has been sitting for 60 days or longer. That's 260 out of 823 active listings. Currently, the market is 823 total active listings as of this morning, 6:58 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 168 properties in escrow, 158 properties in backup offer position, and in the last 7 days, we've had 44 properties that have closed escrow. That's going to indicate a 3.6 month supply. What happens with that number? That's the absorption rate. So let's say we didn't put any more properties on the market for sale as of right this moment. It would take 3.6 months at our current absorption pace or the current sales pace to actually finish this market and sell out of everything. Here in the Valley, I broke it down this way. Let me shrink this just a little bit. So I broke it down in this manner here. You can see in Valencia right now, out of the over 800 listings, we have 261 active in Valencia, 186 in Canyon Country, 109 in Saugus, then we have 92 in Newhall, 50 in Castaic, and then Acton has 42. Stevenson Ranch running down at the low end at 32. Typical, more houses elsewhere versus Stevenson Ranch, so they have less inventory. They also maintain the highest price per square foot out here in Santa Clarita Valley in comparison to every other city. The next one in is going to be, of course, Valencia, and then potentially Saugus, Newhall. Newhall has some pretty special stuff there as well. Buyers right now, currently, as we're closing out July, they're most intent in Valencia. We have more closings there going on. Canyon Country comes in second place. Saugus third, Newhall fourth, and then we have Castaic at 15 at fifth place, and then what is that fifth? One, two, three, four, five, and then Acton in sixth place. Stevenson Ranch in seventh. What homes are actually selling for currently here as we're closing out July? These are the median prices. Valencia 825K. That's gauged against 78 listings. 768K in Canyon Country. That's gauged against 42. Saugus 800K. Gauged against 33. And then we can see Newhall at 70. 745. Castaic at 803. That's balancing out 18. And then Acton 800. That's balancing out 5. And of course, 1.2 million Stevenson Ranch 10. So definitely a much higher price per square foot. House condos or townhomes, just breaking these down here, you can see these particular prices as well. And this is the complete average across all of the Santa Clarita Valley cities. I do have systems in place at Santa Clarita Open Houses that break this down further so you can see these numbers broken down by city and then look at single family residences, for example, within Valencia, then condominiums within Valencia, and then townhomes within Valencia. It helps, it answers questions for people, especially when they're attempting to evaluate real estate. And as far as cities go, how long does it take to clear that inventory? Here's that list: 2.8 months in Castaic, 3.2 in Stevenson Ranch, and of course 3.3 in Valencia. You can see the rest here on that. Active listings divided by the last 30 days of closing. And the lower this number indicates a faster market. So right now, Castaic is winning the game as far as moving real estate listings at 2.8 months. And as far as price cuts go, we do see price changes frequently. We see those pop up, 30, 40 a week, depending on the listings out there. Right now in process, we probably have, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we have over 100 properties that have had their prices modified in some way. It depends on the market whether that's going up or coming down, but most cases, most markets, those prices uh, tend to be trending down. So you're going to have a seller that goes out there, they get their property priced, whether it's by an agent that they trust, or maybe they're looking at an online system. So by the time the agent gets there, the seller's already convinced that their house is potentially worth more than it actually is, according to what the market indicators are. The syndication sites aren't going to show you that type of data. In some cases, they're gaming you. They have an algorithm or a computer program that's put together to feed you just enough information to get you excited about it, and then maybe use those agents as part of their system. It sucks, but it is the way the world seems to be working now. We're being fed everything. Best strategy I can give you is when you're looking at what your agent produces, online systems produce, you got to break it down to to nuts and bolts of those particular listings that they're comparing with your residence. If in fact your residence is, you know, different, a different area, maybe not the same zip code, maybe not the same neighborhood. For example, out here in the summits, we have Windermere's, we have Chelsea's. Those are two different housing types. They're both very expensive, but when you're looking, the Windermere's seem to be carrying quite a bit more value, but they're right next to each other. You can have one block, you can have the Chelsea model, and then the next block you can have the Windermere's, and they're two different residences. When an evaluation site is putting it together, they might be telling you that your Chelsea is worth what Windermere's are, but unless you're local, you're not going to know that there's a big difference between those residences, and it's pretty substantial. Then you get all excited and you're like, oh my God, my house is worth a lot more. So then you hire that consummate professional. They come out and they tell you, no, it's not. And of course, who do you believe? That's the other thing. A lot of people are very fast to believe the online systems. Just look at the data. Look at the historical record. So if somebody does bring you the comparables, you want to make sure it's in close enough proximity to your residence. It would be a perfect world if, in fact, it's in that same tract and of course, definitely same zip code. But that same neighborhood, that same builder that originated that whole area, that would be beautiful. And then just look at the numbers and make comparisons between what your house has, how it's been outfitted, renovated, changed over time. And these are all dependent on them not being a new construction build. New construction, they're pulling numbers out of not out of the air, but there's not a lot of substantial worth being established by the area because it hasn't been developed yet. It's all brand new at the beginning. So anyway, watch out for that too. All right, so who's cutting and where? These are the folks that are cutting their particular prices. And right now, we do see properties that fall out of escrow. That's something else. So these are deals that have fallen apart, and you can see these numbers here in the last little while, 30 days or so. Sitting 60 days plus unsold. We have Acton 40%. That's out of 17 listings. Aqua Dulce not selling in 60 days, 37% of that particular market at 10 listings being gauged. Newhall 34% at 31 listings being gauged. Stevenson Ranch 34% at 11. Valencia 33% at 86. Quite a big number being looked at there. Saugus, but there's more listings in that area. Saugus as well, 31 at 34. And then you can see this broken down further. The Santa Clarita, if you see this, just to give you an idea, this is interesting. When you're looking out there and you're looking at residential real estate, make sure that whatever portal, and I do this on purpose, if you go to SantaClaritaOpenHouses.com, there's a specific section for Santa Clarita. So let me explain it. In our board, in the local board, if you hire a local agent such as myself to sell your house, I have six. We're going to exclude Acton and Agua Dulce from the conversation. I have six cities I can choose when I'm putting in a real estate listing. You're in Valencia, I choose Valencia. If your house is in Saugus that you want me to sell, I choose Saugus. Newhall, Canyon Country, Castaic, and did I leave one out? Castaic, Canyon Country, Newhall. Saugus, Stevenson, Rancho, Valencia. Okay. I get to choose that city. If I were a member of an outside board of realtors, I'm not here locally, and I go to input information in for a listing I procured in Valencia, for example, but I'm not local to this market, my choice might only be Santa Clarita. Same scenario, same agent, same outside the board realtor membership, Saugus. Their only choice might be Santa Clarita. Same everything. Newhall might only be Santa Clarita. Castaic, Santa Clarita. Canyon Country might only be able to put listings into what they call Santa Clarita. If you address a mailing envelope to come to Santa Clarita, you make sure the address is correct, zip code is correct, it's going to find its way to the residence. It doesn't have to be broken down by city, just like Los Angeles. You're sending an envelope to Chatsworth, you put Los Angeles, but with the zip code, it'll find its way. It's a miracle. This is detrimental, I believe, to the sellers because if somebody isn't searching for Santa Clarita, and some of the syndication sites are now showing Santa Clarita is not an option, they're not going to see that particular listing. So I don't know how you do it. If you can't break away from the agent that's not a member of the local board, then you're paying them a commission to sell your residence, I would assume, find out what they can join for. Whenever I get a listing in Antelope Valley, for example, if I'm going to go there, I'll go pay the $192 to join the board so I can have that listing in their board. I don't hold it and just keep it in our board. That's a great example because GAVAR, Greater Antelope Valley Association of Realtors, doesn't share data. And when I sign up with our board, the Southland Regional Association of Realtors, the information for that Antelope Valley listing is going to go to all these agents here, but it's not going to eke its way out into that market. Now, a lot of the agents out there are members of our board and vice versa, just like I explained to you. But if I were going to take a listing and somebody were going to trust me to sell their Antelope Valley residence, and if I wasn't an active member of that board, I would join. Is it a pain? I don't know what a pain is. Somebody trusts you to sell something, and then you go out to their board and join. You might have to go through it's not called integration, but it's a class. You go sit at some class for 8 hours to be indoctrinated into their board. That's worth the price of admission. And then the cost of that, you get your membership for a year. But then now you're able to advertise to all the people that are getting served by that board of realtors in the way of the multiple listing service, the way of the listings, and especially the agent access. So yes, it's worth it. But seeing this here is a pain point of mine, as you can tell. A share of each city active listing sitting 60 plus days and equals single family residences. Price it right first week and you got good stuff. But if you don't, unfortunately, that's where the market happens to be sustaining everything. I'm Connor with Honor. I hope you're well. Please let me know when you are. You can go to the Mac box at Santa Clarita Open Houses and punch in. Is now a good time to sell in my city? Insert city name here. Lots of fun stuff. Be well, everybody. Thank you for watching. We will see you tomorrow, and I hope your week is fabuloso. Take care.